Okay, Christelle and Nisa, this is going to be lesson number 5. It's Farias lesson number 5. And last time we were concentrating on chords and a combination of things. On this lesson, we're going to concentrate on the right hand. And I'm going to give you a few other variations of some of the picking I was showing you. Because otherwise, you can get bored. You're doing the same thing all the time. So I want you to be able to vary it a little bit. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to be using the 3 chords that we went over, which is A, C, and E. But that's sort of irrelevant at this point. I mean, you don't have to use them if you don't want to. You can put an A chord or an E chord, whatever you want to use. This lesson is really concentrating on the right hand. As you recall, I showed you this one, which is where the 3 fingers, excluding the pinky, are tied together, kind of glued together on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string. It's the E, B, and G strings. And you're basically just picking them up and putting them down, up and down. Like that. And then if you put in bass, I'm using the A minor chord, by the way. That's what it sounds like. What I want you to do to vary it a little bit, once you're really comfortable with this or you get bored doing that, try doing the following. Again, the fingers are on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings, but in this case, you're going to loosen up the pointer finger, number 1 finger. And what you're going to do is you're going to go pick that up by itself. And then the last 2 that are still stuck together, you're going up and down. So it's going to be. Actually, it's this one. This one, just pick them up and then put the pointer finger, hit that one again. So it's pointer finger, these up, then pointer finger again. So it's going to sound something like this. I'm just putting in bass. So you're alternating the bass finger up like that. So instead of going the last 2 fingers come up together. I'm just varying chords. So you can see how it sounds when you switch chords. So again, it's just bass, pointer finger up, last 2 fingers up, and the pointer finger back again. Okay, that's one technique. Another technique is to just loosen these fingers. You keep them on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings as usual, but you pick them up individually. Like that. Just put in some chords. Same principle. 3 fingers are on the last 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the number 1, 2, and 3 strings, the E, B, and G strings, and all I'm doing is picking them up, one at a time. Okay. And this can go to many different songs. And of course, you can, depends on the tempo. You can, some songs go very slow, some can go much faster. But it's just the technique that I want you to try to vary. So, if you get tired doing this, vary it. Or those are just the variations of the picking when you have your fingers, the number 1, 2, and 3 fingers on the first 2 and 3 strings. Now, those are picking. I'm going to show you a strumming technique that's a little more advanced, a little more challenging, but it's worth practicing whenever you get bored of doing all just the picking. And this is a little more involved, but bottom line is my thumbs will be hitting the top bass strings, the top 3 strings, which are the bass strings. My number 2 finger is going to be hitting the bottom 3 strings. And the technique is I go down with my thumb, and then I hit with my number 2 finger, I hit the bottom string. I just hit them like that. So it's thumb, hit. Okay, so that's the first 2. Thumb, hit, thumb, hit. Now we're going to put thumb, hit, thumb, thumb, hit, thumb, thumb, hit, thumb. Okay? Then it's thumb, hit, thumb, up with the number 2 finger, hit. So it's thumb, hit, thumb, up, hit. Okay? Thumb, hit, thumb, up, hit. If you get those sequence of movements of your fingers, that's thumb, hit, and then you're going to hit again. So it's thumb, hit, thumb, hit, thumb. I'm sorry. Thumb, hit, up, hit. Thumb, hit, thumb, up, hit. Thumb, hit, thumb, up, hit. Then finally, if you get all those, I know it's kind of tedious, but thumb, hit, thumb, up, hit. Then with the pointer finger, you come up the last time. Why the pointer finger? Because you get a much, when you come up with number 2 finger, it's a little more aggressive. With the pointer finger, it kind of lessens the impact. And you'll see how it sounds differently in just a second. So it's thumb, hit, thumb, up, hit, up, like that. Sense? Okay, if you get those movements, I'm sorry. If you get those movements, it sounds, it's just a variation, it's just kind of a sequence of movements of your fingers. But once you get those movements down, when you change the timing of the hits, this is what it sounds like. All I'm doing is changing chords. But those movements I just showed you are what I'm doing now, but I'm just doing them at a faster pace, faster beat. And of course, the beat changes the sound. Once you get comfortable with the movements, you can kind of learn to do the sound. A lot of country western songs use that beat. like, let's see. I was but a young man, I was wild and full of fire. Youth within my teens, but full of challenge and desire. That's a Western, basically a Western beat. If you learn to use that pattern that I'm showing you, then other things you can do with a, with a thumb hit. There's so many variations you can do, but if you learn that couple of sequences I just showed you, and it takes time. I understand it can be frustrating at first, but once you get that down, there are many, many songs you can play using that type of a beat. Okay? So anyway, so in the picking part, and then on the stormy part, that's what you want to learn. Okay? So that'd be lesson number 5. Good luck.